Welcome to this week's episode of What Day Is It? Where everybody is a winner and everybody gets a participation trophy around here, especially if you're listening. We appreciate you. Once again, guys, I am Shane Rigdon, owner-operator of Rigdon Ranch here in Franksville, Wisconsin. And longtime animal lover, accompanied by my good friend, A.A. Ron, a.k.a. Fluffy, a.k.a. you have a bigger ass than your father.
I brought it back.
I figured we could start it off quite strong this week and just make all kinds of, crazy jokes about you and your introduction to Don. This man right here, he shaved his mustache the other day, and he looks a little different for anybody that can notice.
Almost looks Amish.
Yeah, not that the camera can really see it for you guys, but he almost looks Amish, so he's not getting any more leftover mustache food in his mouth these days.
It just kept curling in, so I had to take it out.
That's all right. But anyway, I hope everybody's doing all right this week. It's a pleasure to be back in the studio, and by studio, I mean whatever this room is in my house that we have dedicated for this podcast that you are unfortunately listening to. If anybody has any questions, you guys know where to hit us for next week. You can hit me on the TikTok or the email. But anyway, without further ado, let's get into this. So this week, I kind of just have some notes written down here just so I don't kind of forget what we're talking about. The first thing I want to talk about is probably the more controversial subject of the week. We'll see if we get into anything else. This might just lead down a rabbit hole. Who the fuck knows?
Hippity hop.
Literally. Anyway, there is a place about an hour away from us, I don't know, 60 plus miles away, called Shalom Wildlife Zoo. And those guys are under quite a bit of heat this week, and it's kind of their own fault. I'm not here to bash these guys. I've never been to this park, even though it's about an hour away. You've never been either, right?
Nope.
So neither of us has ever been to this park.
Heard it's a nice place.
From what I know, Shalom Wildlife is one of Wisconsin's premier animal acts. You know, I guess act would be kind of a bad term, but it's a premier zoo.
They like their kitties there.
They do like their kitties. They like a lot of things. From what I know, the place actually started as a deer facility, and then they kind of ventured into, whatever else. This place has had random citations through the years. A lot of zoos have. But what we're going to be talking about today is they are breeding white tigers. Let it be known, I don't know, how my co-pilot over here feels, but I'm not here to bash anybody. I'm not here to talk down completely about the zoo or anything like that. And I'm just bringing in, we're bringing in opinions that could be talked about from the perspective of people in the animal industry. So let that be minded. We're not here to really bully people. Outside of people making some laws and whatnot.
The government.
Yeah, something like that. So anyway, on February 24th, there was a Facebook post made by a girl named Lainey. I'm not even going to say her last name because I'll probably fuck it up. But anyway, this post was her sharing that Shalom Wildlife actually changed their profile picture on Facebook to an orange tiger having sex with a white tiger.
Oh, fun.
It's fun for the whole family, Do you think this is appropriate, first of all?
For a family place, not really, but
no, not at all. Like it's not human porn or anything like that, but it's
National Geographic stuff, but
yes, and that's really kind of all I have to say for that matter. It's not appropriate.
No.
And what this did is it showed the world that they have white tigers being bred. Outside of this profile picture change, which was a horrible business decision, they were posting videos on their Facebook of the cats fucking.
Oh, fun.
Also inappropriate.
Fun for the whole family.
Literally, fun for the whole family. Come in, watch our tigers fuck.
Yeah, we're trying to do dumb shit, so watch it.
Like, it was a poor business decision. Yeah. You don't do that. And then the third post I seen was a picture, no, it was a video, excuse me, of said white tiger licking her belly, and the post was captioned, "She knows." Like, she knows she's pregnant. So this gives people another thing to be mad at. And why I say it's all Shalom's fault is because they're publicly presenting that they're doing this. So whether or not you're for the breeding of white tigers, they're putting it openly in people's faces and saying that they're doing it. And honestly, for any zoo, any ranch, anything like that, making your public profile picture to animals having sex is insanity.
Yeah, they're ballsy.
It's super ballsy. It's not right. And there's a lot of people under that profile picture, like, approving it. You know, they're taking it well.
You'll have some of them.
Absolutely.
You won't have a lot, but you'll have some.
No. So, I do want to add in here, I don't agree with breeding white tigers. They can be troublesome. A lot of them are unhealthy. They're all a downbred, genetic disaster. They come from one tiger initially, and it's all an inbreeding thing. That being said, whether they are genetic disasters or not, white tigers, they are a thing. They're alive. They're living beings. And at the end of the day, it's still a tiger. So the question I raise for the people that are against this, which, again, I'm not a fan of breeding white tigers, how do we want to solve this? There's not too many white tigers in captivity anymore. There's a couple hundred of them. I couldn't give you an exact amount. It's not like I have white tigers in my pocket. But there's only a couple hundred of them, where there's a couple thousand, there's quite a few thousand standard tigers in captivity in America, but only a couple hundred white tigers. Now, what do we do about this? There's multiple options that I have in my head. Either A, we euthanize all of them, which that also sounds inhumane to me.
A little bit, yeah.
They're still living beings. Whether or not they have some issues, they live, they breathe, they have fun, they mate. They do all these things that other living organisms do. So why should they not be allowed to do so? B, do we put all of the white tigers, or do we separate all of the white tigers from all the orange tigers? So we would take the couple hundred white tigers that are in captivity these days and separate all of them. They all go in their own cage, solo, no interaction. The tigers, they're animals that live in solidarity. They're one and done in the wild. They get together to mate. That's pretty much it. Yep. Apart from a mom and her cubs. So these guys, putting them by themselves, it wouldn't be too big of an issue. But what these zoos are going to face is the issues of the general public thinking that these animals shouldn't be alone. We get so much backlash at zoos for animals that are alone. Where's their friend? They're lonely. Why is it pacing? What's it doing? Because these animals have natural instincts, and they act on some things that, they do natural actions that the general public doesn't find okay. So being alone is something that the zoos would really have a lot of backlash from, because where's its friend, and cats, even though they live alone in the wild, not all cats, tigers, even though they live alone in the wild, that doesn't mean they can't be fine with a buddy. Like you see at Shalom, the cats live with other cats.
Sure.
The tiger, I should just keep saying tiger. The tigers live with other tigers. At Joe down here, we have tigers with other tigers. They can work fine. They can make fine mating pairs.
Sometimes.
Bad can happen, but that can go within any species.
Yeah.
So they can be together. So it really comes to, would you like these cats to be taken away from the family they have, the friends these have, and all be put, alone? So which direction do you want to go with this? We can euthanize them, or we can put them all alone until they all die off. So it really depends how you feel about the situation. And there are some white tigers that have enough problems that I do think we could possibly justify euthanizing. It's like people downbreeding bulldogs to the way they are. They can't breathe.
Where they sound like they're snorting.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But there are plenty of white tigers that are healthy enough to maintain a fun and healthy life and to be able to live with their companions as well. So at the end of this, again, I do agree that I don't like breeding white tigers. But how do you want to solve this? What do you want to do with it? And then at the end of the day, we are going to see it again, I think. If we get rid of all white tigers these days, we're going to see it again at some point. There have been white tigers in the wild. It hasn't been for decades. There hasn't been a white tiger in the wild for a very, very long time. But we're going to see one. It's a genetic mishap, and these cats come from a recessive white gene. So what happens with this is, one out of, I don't even know however many.
So not albino.
They're not albino.
They're white.
They're white tigers, and it's not a separate species. It's if it's a Bengal tiger, it's still a white. It's a Bengal tiger. And there's a lot of rumors out there that say white tigers are close to extinct or whatever, which it's bullshit, because it's not a white tiger. It's the same species. It's so they're not extinct because there's thousands of them coated in orange. It's an issue called leucism. And that's kind of what causes the white genetic, and it's pretty, it's beautiful.
Sure,
something to look at. It's something to look at, but outside of America wanting show animals, we shouldn't do it. It leads to health problems. So once again, my question to you guys is, how would you like to solve this without causing other issues? Because whichever way we go about this, it's going to cause issues. And some people are going to be like, well, who cares if the zoos have issues? They're bad places, blah, blah, blah. That's not always true. That is so far from true. A lot of these people have great hearts, So let's dig in that. That being said, let's dig into this post a little more. The first thing Lainey talks about here is, she says, it's very sad to find out that Shalom Wildlife is not a sanctuary like they claim to be on their Facebook. This is important because it's another bad business decision. So Shalom,
like Carol Baskins.
Literally, I don't think I compare them to that.
No, they're not comparable. I'm sorry. That was an outburst.
Like, we don't know these people, so we're just giving a biased opinion or a non-biased opinion, on how things could be as in the business. Anyway, they're labeled a sanctuary. It's Shalom Wildlife Sanctuary on Facebook. But on their website header and on Google and anywhere else, it's the Shalom Wildlife Zoo. So which are you? Are you a zoo? Or are you a sanctuary? Are you rescue? What the fuck do you want to be, Shalom?
Both.
And they're over 40 years old.
They've been around for a while.
They should have their eggs in a basket here. They should know what they're doing. That being said, people need to realize that all sanctuaries are not a good place. Sanctuaries, they make more money off of donations than people know sometimes. Some sanctuaries breed. They do sell animals. They do exploit, if that's the way you want to put it. Excuse me. That goes for rescues too. If they have sanctuary or rescue in their name, that does not mean that it's a good place. I'm not saying they're all bad. They're not. But you need to realize they're not all the same place. Now, Shalom Wildlife is a zoo. These guys show their animals to the general public. That means they are governed under the USDA, the United States Department of Agriculture. That means they are a zoo. They are a zoological facility. They do general interactions with the public. People come and see animals. It's a zoo wholeheartedly. Regardless if they claim to be a sanctuary or a rescue or any of that jazz, they can be that, but they are a zoo.
With a breeding program, apparently.
The next thing, or one of the next things she gets into here is how zoos, they breed these cats for money. Now, I want to talk about this a little bit because it's a little bit of a yes and no situation. If this park does not plan on keeping these cats, what does it do with them? Sells them, makes a little money.
But you can't sell a cat. So why wasn't Bob able to buy the cats then? they were on like lease or something.
I don't know what happened all them years ago. What I know is our cats here were just on a breeding loan from up north.
Yeah.
So that's a little bit different of a situation.
Okay.
So he would loan us the cats for, we could use them at the zoo while, if they breed, the guy keeps all the babies. Yeah. So it's just a breeding loan.
Yeah.
It's a little bit different of a subject. But I don't know. When I got here and we had all them cats here, I was 15 and
there's a lot of cats when you got here.
There was quite a few. And I was so young, I didn't know nothing about laws, regulations. I didn't care. I don't know. I knew all I knew is that I pet a fucking tiger. Like,
still don't care about them laws.
Facts. Fuck laws. No, I'm just playing, guys. Pay attention. But what we're talking about with money here is a tiger can have, 3, 4, 5, kittens, etc.
A litter.
It's not going to have all white tigers. That would be crazy probabilities.
And they'd have a lot more problems, I would think. If it was all white tigers,
probably.
They might have downs or something.
They all kind of do.
They do. They're not. You look at them in the eyes and they're like,
they're
what?
Crossed.
Yeah,
they
look
they're
like
almost
Bob.
all crossed. Literally, this Bob tigers. That's fucked up. They're not. God damn it, Fluffy.
Sorry.
So they're not all going to be white tigers. So that's going to lessen the value of these cats, first of all. And second, a standard orange tiger, they're not worth what you people think they're worth. You could sell a white tiger for $2,000-$3,000. Even Joe Exotic said that on fucking Netflix. Tigers are not worth the millions of dollars that people think they're worth. And the white tigers, you might throw a couple extra grand on them. So what I'm getting at for this is they might be making a little bit of money off of them, but it really doesn't. I don't think it matters to them. Shalom has been in business for so long that I'm sure they have revenue that's doing them just fine in other directions.
They have golf carts you can drive through the place. I think they're doing all right.
Right. I definitely agree with you. I would imagine that their, cost of admissions and whatnot really helps keep these guys afloat pretty well.
They're doing it.
Not to mention, tigers are pretty expensive to care for.
Yeah. About 10 pounds, 15 pounds of meat a day.
Absolutely. So what I'm trying to tell you guys is a litter of tigers is not worth what you think it's worth. So let's say we got a couple mixed a couple white cats in there, let's say 2 white tigers and 2 orange tigers or something like that. You're not even getting 20 grand for that litter.
Probably not.
20 grand in the long scheme of things of a business like that is not a lot of money. What I guess I'm trying to get at is as much as I disagree with breeding these things for money, I don't think that is this zoo's general purpose. I don't think that is exactly what they are after because there's money to be made in other revenues. Honestly, if it was a smart move, if you were going to breed tigers for money, I would breed orange to orange because more people are obligated to purchase them because they're not getting backlash about them, and white tiger breeding is banned in ZAA and AZA zoos.
Oh.
They banned that in 2011. So honestly, in the long run of things, breeding orange tigers, I believe, would make you more money. And you wouldn't look like an idiot on Facebook.
Well, if they would have just kept it quiet and just did it off to the side instead of making it their profile picture.
Yeah, that was super fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Outside of the rights and wrongs of this situation, putting it so far in front of the general public eyes like that was just fucking dumb. It was
Especially
so dumb.
All the cats under fire recently.
Absolutely. It is the worst time to be doing this. I mean, we're a couple years past Tiger King.
It's still fresh.
It's fresh and the wound is open and it's not going to end, and it's things like this making it worse, and it's making all of us look bad. I don't even have tigers, and I feel like I look bad to people because of Tiger King. Like, Tiger King escalated shit from like, oh, this man has tigers, we should go after people with fucking kangaroos too. Like, fuck all of them, the people that support a lot of this shit, they are large, vast supporters of most animal rights motions. So this was just overall an absolute terrible business idea from Shalom. Now, these guys, they're old heads. I don't know the owners, but like we said before, the zoo is over 40 years old. So these people, they're probably more like Bob. They probably don't give a fuck. And outside of that, they don't know how to adapt with the times. A lot of these old zoos are kind of the same. They're kind of ran the same. The people don't want to grow with today's age. They don't give a fuck about the new generations. They don't care what anybody thinks. And to an extent, I can agree with that because I have an old head mind. You know, if I want a monkey, I'm still going to own a fucking monkey. But you got to take care of that monkey the correct way and do whatever the fuck the USDA tells you, if the door's open anyway. And, you know, if I want to give my monkey a fucking ball and the USDA says the monkey doesn't need a ball, fuck him. I'm giving him a ball. You know, he likes the ball. So there's some things, you know, I'm in disagreement with the USDA, but like you got to follow rules to a certain extent, and a lot of these rules are unwritten, like what not the fuck to do on Facebook. But it's common sense. It's common fucking sense, especially in today's day and age. But a lot of these people just don't adapt with the new days. Is really what I'm trying to say, and that goes for, you know, older generations within anything. My grandma, you know, we got her a smart TV 3 years ago. She won't fucking learn how to use Netflix, and she hates that she can't find her favorite channel. You know, sorry if you're watching this, grandma, but like that's it. There is a big difference between generations, you know, and you know, back in the day, like the older generations bred cats left and right. Like, you know, the white tigers, they were bred in accredited facilities back in the day until 2011, and they banned it. And as much, again, as in disagreements as I am with breeding these white cats, I would almost guarantee you guys that the ZAA and the AZA only banned them because they started getting public backlash.
Oh, yeah.
That is the only thing that changes things in the animal world. And that is exactly why it's hard to buy and sell cats. It's hard to breed them in certain situations because, you know, Tiger King happened, and now there's all these new laws. And now we have people that have watched Tiger King and think they went to fucking college for tiger science, you know, like, so it's always something that we're going to be battling. Now, white tigers, you know, everybody, like, they don't come from the wild. It's this only. I talked about this a little bit already, but it will happen again, you know. So if we get rid of this problem, they're going to pop up in the wild at some point in time. And the question is, at that point in time, what will humanity do with them then? So this definitely could be a problem that we run circles around for a very long time. I think once they're gone, if the United States sticks to their guns on these laws, we can have the problem settled once and for all here. But who's to say what's going to happen in other countries? We're only one of many, and we make a lot of stupid decisions here.
We ain't even got the most tigers either.
No, we don't. We have a very small amount of tigers. I believe the first white tiger came from India.
Oh, I bet you're right without even looking at Google. Google that shit.
That was in the 50s, as far as I know. They came over here, and the rest was history. They were basically all bred down from one cat.
Well, that would explain the eyes.
It would explain the eyes, but that's, you know, to say we may have bred them all off of one white tiger, but all of the other tigers that we had at the time that were imported, who's to say that they also didn't have a recessive white gene?
Yeah.
You know, so this is something that we are going to fall into again. Now ask yourself this: if we do have an accidental white tiger born in the United States, does it, like I said before, does it deserve to get euthanized or live by itself for the rest of its life? You know, because cats do like to play. You know, I don't give a fuck how big that cat is. It's a cat.
It's going to play.
Absolutely.
Get a laser pointer out.
It's going to play.
It's going
to want a pool. It's going to want interaction. It wants all types of stuff. And one thing you guys have to realize about a lot of zoos, especially private ones like Shalom, a lot of enrichment for these animals is people. You know, these animals are being raised with people. They want interaction. They want you to say good morning to them. They know the guy that comes to feed them. Their enrichment is far different than it could be in the wild at some places.
Speaking of that, I've been seeing videos of people playing tug of war with lions and tigers. I think that's one of the coolest things because you're giving the animal enrichment and the people something to do.
It is. It's not harmful.
Nope.
It's enrichment.
Yep.
The animal is having fun, and it's a huge educational thing too. Like, you got 5 people on the end of this rope, and you can't budge the fucking tiger.
No, he's winning.
You know,
he or she, they're gonna win.
It's really cool. I have seen that, and it's definitely something that I would try just to lose.
So
I know I'm gonna lose. I would get slammed against the glass.
It'd be worth it though.
It would be absolutely.
If I ever see it
cool.
at a zoo, I'm doing it. Don't care how much it is.
So one of the next things on this post is she makes sure to say that Shalom is not accredited, which is only important in this matter because, again, AZA and ZAA, they banned breeding of white tigers. That is the only reason in this post that you have to talk about it. That's the only reason that it matters. Accreditation for ZAA and AZA, what it basically is you're following some type of guidelines and you're meeting, some type of level of care to get into an accreditation. And accreditation is cool. You know, it's not something like it's not something I believe in super. Like, really all it is, it's a label. It is a label, and the ZAA and AZA, they help each other by giving each other animals and this and that, and AZA and ZAA, they have like how do I put this? They have lockers across the country of like moved animals and confiscated animals and stuff like that. You know, they're beacons. You confiscate an animal, it goes to this locker, and then they decide which place they put it at. Or if this AZA zoo's animal dies, they pull one from this place and give it back to that zoo. So they're like beacons, and they're all kind of connected, but you do have to meet some type of care level to have an accreditation. Now, there are a lot of private facilities out there that do meet these care levels, but they don't see a point in being accredited. If I have millions of dollars, why should I get accredited to follow your rules when I can just do whatever I want already because I have a USDA permit and I'm rich? And that is if they're rich. A lot of these facilities aren't making the millions that you guys think they're making. I'm broke as shit.
Truth.
The unfortunate truth. But there's just a lot of retrospect on this stuff, and as cool as a label is for being accredited, it's not a super big thing. There are plenty of private facilities out there that are absolutely fucking incredible and have no reason to be accredited. I've been to so many private facilities that I would eat off the fucking floor. I've also been to private facilities that I've walked into and I've said, how the fuck is this place open?
I need a tetanus shot.
Literally. And, there's some shitty ones out there. And I'm not going to pretend like there's not. But the term roadside zoo is something that is shit on heavily when the roadside zoos are basically what runs America.
Oh, yeah.
We transport the animals. We train the animals. We're the ones that do all the dirty work. The roadside people really keep, the bigger zoos at bay. Like, if somebody needs a tiger moved or a camel or whatever the fuck, they're calling a little guy. They're calling a professional transporter, somebody that's not afraid to get eaten, somebody that knows how to work the dart gun, somebody that knows drugs, somebody blah, 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 blah. Like, the list goes on and on and on, and it's going to be somebody from a private field.
And it's far and few between, and it's dying off quick.
It is dying off quick. It's super, super, super sad. Let's see, what else does she have in this? The end of her post was talking about the drowning you were talking about.
2022, I think.
I don't know if she has a year in here. Anyway,
yeah.
Shalom got cited a few years back for the drowning of some tiger cubs in a pond on their facility. I didn't look into it too heavy. I've heard of it before, but what I think happened is they were just out in their pen and the tiger cubs fell in the pond and probably couldn't get out because there was ice on it.
I was gonna say it sounded like they fell through the ice.
They fell through the ice. So
it sounded like
the ice happened to be the problem. This is fucked up. This is something that is relative to a citation. But at the end of the day, looking into this and thinking about it 50 ways from China, I do think this is just a fucked up freak accident.
It is.
It really, really sucks.
Super sad.
I guarantee everybody there was really fucking sad about it. And it's just one of those things they didn't think about happening in a million years. And, instead of, being so hateful towards it, which fucking sucks, again, the good option is hoping that they learned something. If they have tiger cubs again in a winter like that, hopefully they learned that they should move them in. Let's keep them off the ice, unless they're ice fishermen and they know that the ice is 6 feet frozen.
And even then you fall in.
You can. So let's hope that they learned from this mistake. I think that is the best we can do, because I really think that is a freak accident. Nobody's out here drowning tigers. It's just super fucked up. There was a lady in 2012, Megan Mogensen. She actually got cited. She was I think a curator of a zoo. She got cited for drowning a kangaroo. No, excuse me, it was a wallaby. Megan Mogensen got cited for drowning a wallaby, and she tried to argue that it was euthanized. And then when I don't even know who it would be. The animal got confiscated, and it went to whatever the animal coroner is. They did a necropsy on it. Necropsy is the animal word for autopsy. They did a necropsy on this wallaby and found that there was no euthanasia fluid in its system. So she drowned the wallaby, and she stepped down. Now the zoo is something else. The zoo changed the names. It went under new ownership. And it's ran by actually an either AZA or ZAA representative. So definitely flip tides at that zoo. But there are people out here that do this crazy shit, and that is what I'm trying to say. And I will not, I'm not going to, sugarcoat it. I'm not going to be cookie cutter about it. There are people out there that do terrible things. Why did she do that? I don't know. The world's never going to know. You think she's ever going to tell the truth? Probably not. Who knows what actually happens? But the fact that she lied about the euthanasia fluid being in the animal, that's the fucked up part. So we can take things like that, and in situations that have been investigated like this, and we can look at Shalom and the tigers falling and drowning in the pool, and we can really look at that and say it was a freak accident. It was fucked up. We all wish it wouldn't have happened, but at the end of the day, you have to learn something, and as long as you learned not to fucking do that again, we can be a little lenient. There's freak accidents that happen at zoos literally every day, and the biggest problem with these freak accidents is the zoos aren't honest about it.
Yep, and they don't learn.
They don't learn. We're forced to find out about these citations due to law enforcement or PETA or Roadside Zoo or any of these marketing spiels that push this shit out, because the minute it hits law enforcement or USDA or whatever, it's public knowledge. So 9 times out of 10, especially in the animal world, I do think that honesty is the best policy. So zoos, let's keep it open, let's keep it honest. If things, if you fuck up, let's be real about it. That keeps you from getting bashed on, and that proves that you can be honest instead of hiding things behind closed doors. So I guess, once again, at the end of this certain subject, I would love to hear from you guys if anybody has anything to say about it. How do you think we should end the white tiger issue? Do you think we should just rid of all of them? Do you think we should let them live alone until they die? Mind you, tigers can live quite a long time. What do you guys think we should do about this issue? I'm honestly kind of on the fence about it too. We could neuter and castrate them. That is always an option, but we would need, some really good vets that are up for the task. That is always an option. We do it to house cats. We can do it to tigers. I'm sure it's been done to tigers, but I think that could be an option for these cats, and then they can live out the rest of their life, and we won't have any more white babies. But that being said, because these cats already have health problems and they're genetic disasters, there is a very large chance that they will not do well under anesthesia. A lot of them could pass away just from being on the operating table. So that being said, one more time, I'm very curious what you guys think we should do about this dilemma. these are just some open-eyed sides to it. You know, everybody wants to bash. Well, we're doing this. You know, this is fucked up. Don't do that. Well, what should we do about it? So, you know, I hope I can give you guys a little bit of perspective here about it. So without further ado, you know, I guess we could move on to some other stuff. I don't want to take up the whole time talking about that, though I could. It would probably just turning into, you know, the bashing of the USDA, which we'll probably get back to soon enough.
Oh, yeah. They're easy to bash.
So last week, I think I mentioned on here, or I might have just mentioned it to Fluffy, that I had a lady come into one of my TikTok lives, and she was arguing with me that rabies wasn't from Iraq.
Oh, I seen that today.
This woman actually came back into my TikTok live this morning, and random as fuck, didn't even
apologize.
She apologized.
I couldn't believe it.
You don't see that, you know.
No.
There's so little niceness in the world. First of all, like, you don't expect people to do that, especially, like, you know, the thing on the internet is you expect to never see these people again.
Oh yeah.
Like, I had no idea this woman followed me. She came back. She just random as fuck. She was like, rabies is from Iraq. You were right. And I was like, holy shit. And I'm not
You were stumped about it.
I was fucking stumped. I was so goddamn stumped. And it's not about, you know, being right. It's not about tooting my own horn or nothing about that. I was ecstatic because this woman, I don't know what the fuck happened. She must have got off live after that day and looked into it.
Yep.
She did her own research.
Yep.
You know, she did argue with me first. She should have researched first. But she left. She thought, maybe I'm wrong. She went and did her research, and she was willing to learn. And what's twice as cool as that is she came back and owned up to it.
Yep.
You don't see that too often. So that was really, really cool.
Huge respect.
Huge fucking respect to you. What is really big to me, you know, as I'm an animal educator, is people that are willing to learn. You know, we get bashed a lot for, you know, having animals. So I really, 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 really respect it when people come in here with an open mind, and I can be open and honest. What day is it? It's Tuesday.
It's hump day.
It's hump day. It'll be hump day when we launch. Yeah, it was. It might have been last hump day or Tuesday. I had an activist come into my TikTok live. It was under the account Stop the Quest. And I was walking Newton. All I was doing was walking Newton around the parking lot. We were just doing some calisthenics and random exercises. And this account comes in, and they were like, are you a sanctuary or do you do rides? And first the fuck of all, you know, I just want to say, again, not all sanctuaries are good sanctuaries. Sanctuaries do rides. Sanctuaries do shit to make money. Anyway, sorry about that. I said I do rides. You know, I'm not a sanctuary. I'm a ranch. We have working animals, and, you know, people come here to learn shit, yada, whatever the fuck I said. And she or he responds and says, these animals don't need to be doing rides in the middle of the city. And I looked around. I said, I don't know where the fuck you see a city, but bitch, I'm in the middle of the boonies. Like, I'm taking my camel for a walk, like you probably would your fucking dog, dumbass.
Probably doesn't walk their dog, but
it probably doesn't walk her dog. She's probably some crazy ass keyboard warrior that doesn't leave the fucking house.
They are driving me insane.
And I'm like, I'm in the middle of the country, just taking my camel on a fucking walk. And while we do, yes, load up our camels and go to the city and do rides sometimes, I told this woman, camels need exercise. And I said 9 times out of 10, camels that do not go to work die young.
Yep.
They have to exercise. They're heavy. They need to maintain their muscle mass. And this woman and or man commented back and said, you're a liar. Do better. I said,
really?
What the fuck? And they left. They left it at that. The main reason I'm telling it, I was ticked off about it. I was ticked off about it. But there's 2 main reasons that I'm telling you guys this story. One is this person wasn't willing to learn anything. And this is the same person that probably doesn't realize that dogs are descendants of other fucking animals, and we stole them out of the goddamn wild at some time.
Oh, they became friends, okay? Dogs are friends.
Whatever. They are man's best friend.
Cats we stole out of the wild. They're not friends.
Whatever. We stole them all, and they probably have them. They probably got a fucking goldfish that came out of a fucking river somewhere, you know? Like,
probably.
These people don't ever put 2 and 2 together. And the second reason I'm telling you guys this story is this specific activist account actually reached out to me probably about a month and a half ago because I have capybaras. And their account is called Stop the Quest. If you don't know what Quest is a chain of mall aquariums, which already seems kind of strange, but who knows? Maybe they took good care of their ship. They have a lot of citations. I don't know if the place is good or bad. I have no fucking clue. But anyway,
like traveling mall aquariums?
No, it's a chain. Like Quest is in malls all over.
Like, because I know Mall of America has an aquarium.
It could be Quest. I don't know.
Oh,
There's Quest in multiple malls throughout the U.S. And
I know that.
This account is all about getting rid of Quest. All the bad citations. They put all the bad press out. That shit. And I was on live with the capybaras, and this account came into the live and then reached out to me and said, I would like your help. Let's end the Quest. I see that you have animals. You could help me out on this. We could gang up on this. And I don't know if this account realized I was the same account when I was walking the camel, but I do question why walking my camel and doing nothing else besides walking my fucking camel is worse than having capybaras in captivity when Quest has capybaras in captivity. Like, what the fuck is your deal, first of all? And second, if you want to build relationships to help take this animal business down, maintain your relationships. You just bit the hand of somebody that actually has a voice in the animal community. And if I decided that I actually fucking hate Quest, I know nothing about them. If I don't like them, if I think they're wrong, if I think the regulations, rules, and owners are all terrible, I could have helped your motion for this.
Sure.
I'm not just a bystander on the street with a fucking picket fence. Your dumbass just bit the hand that you were reaching for. So you're just blowing up your entire mission. People are dumb.
Well, it's ignorance. They just don't know.
No.
You meet them all the time on jobs. These people that think they know more than you. And they're just ignorant. They have no idea what they're talking about. And it kind of sounds like this might be part of it, too.
Absolutely. We're all ignorant to certain subjects. But you have to be willing to learn.
Sure.
Especially when it comes to shit like this. And calling me a liar saying that camels, they don't need exercise. Cool, but you go get a camel. When he dies at fucking 15 because you've never done shit with him, Don't come crying back to me.
Yep.
They need everything on this fucking planet needs exercise. But between every single species, exercise looks like something different. Your camel's not out here doing fucking squats and push-ups, but it has to do something.
Can we teach them to do that?
I mean, they do cush, they sit down, so that's kind of like a push-up, isn't it?
A little bit.
But
or is it a squat?
I don't know. Is a camel sitting a sit or a squat?
Both, right?
I mean, I've always just called it sitting, but I guess why not a little bit of both? That's super funny. But that's kind of been like my life on TikTok this last week. I really wanted to go over those two things. So props.
You're gonna get more of that shit.
Oh, all the time. I get trashed on there all the time. But the moral of these two is to the rabies lady. Props to you. You wanted to learn something, and now you are a little bit smarter. To the Stop the Quest bitch, no props to you. You're a dumbass. You don't want to learn anything, and now we are all dumber from listening to this. Thank you. You did this.
I appreciate it. Anything to get him turned up. I love it. Keep it coming. Keep it coming.
The world pisses me off. So
we can get started on PETA if you really want to go down that road.
People eating tasty animals.
Quick story. So we were on a job one time. We did a job. Oh, the parade. We just did the parade, the Christmas parade together, Grafton.
Grafton Christmas parade we do every year.
And first job we did in years together. And at the end of the job, the truck and trailer were parked in a parking lot away from us, so we had to walk to it.
Yep.
And he goes in the back when we get to the truck and trailer. The first thing he does is look in it, make sure that it's still connected on the gooseneck. I was like, "What are you doing, man?" He's like, "You'd be surprised what Peter does." I never even thought about it. I was like, "That would be genius."
Yeah, that's
unhook the pin, and now you're driving down the road. Oh, we're gonna kill the camel, but now you're gonna be to blame because you were not smart enough to hook it up right. Which
that it's funny that you mentioned that, because that's not something I learned from anybody. That's something I just started doing on my own because PETA freaks me the fuck out.
Or people in general
too.
Yeah.
So the thing with these activists is a lot of them would rather have these animals dead than in captivity. And if I leave my trailer somewhere and they unhook the pin on it so it flies off my truck with my camels in it, he's right. It makes me look fucking stupid. My animals die. They're no longer in captivity. My zoo shuts down. It's a win for them, a lose for me. So, like, for anybody listening to this, if you haul animals, livestock, bumper pull, gooseneck, I don't give a shit. Semi-trailer, when you get back to your trailer at the end of the job, check your pins. You know, make sure your ball is still in the fucking truck. Make sure everything is like just double check all of that shit, especially if you're somewhere super public, like you're parked on a street or at a park. Anything like that. Because when you're out with your animals, you're paying attention to your animal. So get back to your truck, double check everything before you hit the road, because people are fucking nuts. And PETA, activists in general, absolutely prefer animals dead than in captivity. And releasing your trailer like that is just one of many schemes that I could see happening. That's the same reason, like outside of money and selling tickets and stuff like that. That's why I will never let people bring their own food to the zoo here. There's no fucking way. Like, what if I let somebody bring an apple here to feed a pig and they poison it?
Yeah.
Like we just
it's already got cyanide in it, so
that's fucked up, man. Like, that's
apples do though.
I know, like
I
get that they have some shit in it, but what does that say about us? But B, what if somebody wanted to add a little more cyanide in there?
Yeah.
Like it's
toast.
It's not rocket science to inject an apple or something.
Or do you remember hearing about when Bob brought elephants to the Lowry Park?
No.
Remember that? He never told you that story?
I don't think so. No.
So they brought him in on from Africa, I believe.
Okay.
Don't shoot the messenger here.
Don't
quote me. This is what I remember Bob telling me.
This is also a very long time ago.
Yes, this is like 15, 20 years ago. For me.
Probably longer than that.
Probably. So Alf was threatening these animals that came in on an airplane.
That stands for
Animal Liberation Front.
Thank you.
Yeah. ALF is a horrible group. They are PETA on steroids. They want to kill everything. They as far as I know, they release animals all over the country. And I don't agree with animal testing, but like, they will release your animals. They might come here and cut your chain links and say, you're free now.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that'll be fun. And thank God no big cats here. But at one point, we were always scared about it. But anyways, he was saying that he had a helicopter transport.
Mm-hmm.
Because Alf was threatening to bomb the road that they were driving down.
Holy shit.
Yeah. Because Bob was an elephant transporter.
Mm-hmm.
They brought him in. They brought the elephants from the airport to Lowry Park.
Right.
I forget how long of a drive it is, but there was a cool quote from a sniper for the police or sheriff or whoever it was in a helicopter. It said, we'll take them out before they take you out. I was like, dude, that is awesome.
That's badass.
I was like, that is probably the coolest animal transport ever.
Absolutely.
And it went off without a hitch. Nothing happened. It was just bomb threats, but
good.
Thank God, because, I mean, where would we be right now if people are blowing up elephants?
Imagine people blowing up elephants when we're all, the world's all save the elephants,
Yeah.
And we only have 400 elephants in the U.S. We can't afford to fucking bomb them.
No, let's not kill them. Let's keep it going. I agree with breeding programs for elephants 1,000%.
What happens when they're gone? We'll never see them again.
No.
It's definitely something we need in the United States, but I will banter down and say it needs to be done correctly.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I don't think there is any current abuse going on for elephants in the United States. These animals cost millions of dollars, and their facilities are absolutely immaculate. Yeah, next time you got to take that ice out of your cup next time. Sorry, everybody. You're just...
My bad.
Everybody's drinking with Fluffy today. But you got to do it right. You got to really give the elephants the most of their life. And there are some for real great elephant, sanctuaries and stuff out there. There's some immaculate ones. And yes, there still are a few elephants used in circuses. That does not mean they are being abused.
Circus World is over now, though.
Circus World is over, and
I think they were asking $1 million for one of their elephants.
I'd believe it. I absolutely. Well, you talking about up north?
Yep.
When was that they asked money? Because the Circus World, the last elephants in Circus World weren't owned by Circus World.
Well, whoever owned them.
They weren't selling them.
Oh, I heard they were gonna. Jason said they were gonna sell them.
No, those elephants live in Oklahoma.
Oh.
Though the elephants that Baraboo used for the last X amount of years came from a place in Hugo, Oklahoma.
Jason said that they were trying to sell them.
I don't know.
Maybe I misunderstood the whole conversation.
Maybe.
That's a possibility. I misunderstand a lot.
Maybe. Yeah, all those guys, it's something Ark Foundation in Hugo, Oklahoma.
Oh, okay.
It is the second largest collection of elephants in the United States.
Really?
The first largest is in Texas. I don't remember the name of that place. Endangered Ark, that's what it's called. Really, really cool place. It's a bed and breakfast. I think they have a bed and breakfast. Like you stay in a cabin and the elephant will come with a caretaker in the morning and bring you breakfast. Like it's really fucking cool, dude.
How much does this cost?
It's cheap, a couple $100.
No,
I swear to God.
You're making my dreams come true.
Dude, it's cool, and I know these guys because of the circus. Gary got me in with these guys. Just when Illinois banned elephants in the circus, that's where I came in with the camels, and the elephant guys went to Gary to find a camel guy, which is how I got invited. And the elephant people were still doing some pony rides there, so that's how I got acquainted with those guys, and they're all just phenomenal people, man, and they talk about their elephants how we talk about our camels. It's the same fucking thing, and they love their elephants, man. And I've seen enough elephants over the years to really say that there's not really anything bad going on with elephants.
If they were, the elephants would kill the people usually. Like that's just how it goes.
For sure. That's the same thing with camels. Like
that's
you hit a camel. Maybe not all camels, but like you want to punch the right bull camel in the face, you're gonna be non-existent. Dude.
Toast.
Like
you're gonna pick a fight, you're gonna lose.
Absolutely. Like a responsible and respectable animal trainer is going to pick their battles. And this is something that I've really picked up, from Jason over the years. Like pick your fucking battles. Be as respectful as the animal can be to you, and you're going to end up with a better product.
Yep.
And now elephants, we're talking thousands of pounds. Have you seen an elephant try to crush someone with their fucking head, dude?
Don't think much.
It's over.
I seen it with Bob.
literally. I got to get that tape.
You do. It was on CNN years ago. CNN was doing a news story there.
Who was that, Morgan?
Yes.
Move up, Morgan.
Yep, move up, Morgan. And it just pushed him through this the steel fence, just bent all the rungs in the steel fence, broke ribs.
He broke every rib in his body.
Yep. And he was walking around afterwards.
Mm-hmm. He probably had so much adrenaline running through. So he was doing an educational demonstration with this elephant on TV. Which broadcasting station you say it was?
I want to say it was CNN. I'm not 1,000% sure, but I want to say it's CNN.
There is footage of this somewhere if I can get my hands on it. He was doing this educational broadcast, and he told the elephant to move up or whatever, and the elephant hit him against these fences that Fluffy's talking about. And Bob, he instantly went delusional. He got hit that fucking hard. It was an elephant. So instead of telling the elephant to steady or back up, he once again told it to move up, and it moved into him. And he did it again, and it moved into him, and again and again and again. And the whole time, the elephant was doing its job.
Yeah.
He told it to move up, and it was doing up. But his delusional ass, because he got the shit rocked out of him, kept saying the wrong command.
Yeah.
Super fucked up. But he walked away from it. This is also the only man that I knew that lived from getting kicked in the head by a fucking giraffe.
And camels. And
everything. This man was a brick shithouse. But no wonder he was cross-eyed.
Oh, my God. Funny story.
He said, I got kicked in the head. My eyes went straight for a minute.
I can see. One time, Isaac was sitting in this office, getting screamed at by Bob because he decided to play on Facebook during work hours.
Sure.
In the office. Bob came in, caught him, and was screaming at him right over there. And Isaac said, I'm sorry, which eye do you want me to look at? He's like, look at my good one, which is way the fuck over here.
Wait, for real, which one's the fucking good one, Bob?
I don't know. I thought it was the one that went like that, but maybe not.
That's fucked up.
That's but that was
funny. Rest his soul.
I almost peed myself after Isaac said, I was here.
That's funny.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Rest that man's soul. He was my cross-eyed hero.
You ever see the key trick, right?
No.
You never seen him do the key trick?
I've never seen the key trick.
So his Jaguar, I think it was a Jaguar. Spot used to chew on his arm. Mm-hmm. Like he would hold it to calm it down.
Yeah.
And that was his baby, you know?
Okay, yep.
He never showed you the key trick?
No.
So this crazy bastard, we're driving in the truck one time. He's driving. He's like, you got any keys? I'm like, because we were talking about it. I'm like, sure, here's some keys. He took the keys, put it between his knuckles, and just started stabbing it and just like rubbing his arm. He's like, yeah, that doesn't hurt. I'm like, okay. Like, and you can see it's all scar tissue. Like his arm was just toast.
So it's not really a trick. It's just showing you that his arm is fucked from the
Well,
Jaguar.
he has no feeling. He has his famous saying, which I still use to this day when I'm in a lot of pain. It's pain is just mind over matter. If you don't mind, it don't matter. Genius. It helps a little bit, especially when you're bleeding out. But
I'm kind of a bitch. I don't know how much I could thrive on that.
Oh, yeah. After seeing him get hit, kicked, and all that shit at his age, I was like, oh, I guess I can take a hit or two.
And I feel like everybody should know, the man that went through all this shit and lived, Harry Potter, the man that lived, he died of diabetes. Nothing cool.
Nope.
Nothing cool. Rest his soul, but
took
nothing
his toes
cool.
first, and then it took his feet, and then his legs.
Went up his legs, and slowly it took his marbles too.
But he always joked around about it. The first job I ever did with him, like when I was actually an employee at the farm, he was changing his socks on a job, and I looked over and I was like, I didn't know he was missing toes. He only had like 2 or 3 toes on each foot. I was like, he's like, you like that? He's like, yeah. I usually put them up when I'm channel surfing. I'll put them up and use them as crosshairs. I was like, what? This dude's serious right now. He's psycho.
One year, Cody had made him flip-flops and put wooden toes on the ends of the flip-flops. It was super fucked up. That's so goddamn funny. Michael still has his last leg. Literally his last leg. He's going to make Bob's metal leg into a lamp.
He's got to. Leg lamp.
That's so funny.
Why not?
In other news, Fluffy wanted to tell you guys that there is a baby giraffe born the other day in Sacramento Zoo.
Hey, happy news.
Happy news.
Yeah, we can have some happy news.
It's a little female giraffe. He just wanted to tell you guys that. He didn't look into it. We have no fucking clue what kind of giraffe it is or nothing like that. But
it's a giraffe, and it was born in captivity, which, hey, it's a step.
It happens.
It's a good thing, though.
They're born in captivity. That happens. But it is happy news. Nonetheless, do you have any more depressing news you want to go into today?
I mean, you want to talk about the elephants in Sri Lanka?
We can talk about elephants in Sri Lanka. So I guess I have these papers in front of me. I printed these out last week.
We just didn't get to them because we were too excited about the...
Yeah, we were too excited about whatever the fuck we talked about last week.
It was fun, though.
I don't even remember. So anyway, I want to start this story out with this little bit of a story that started at the Cheyenne Mountain Zoo in Colorado, which is fucking beautiful, by the way. I've been there. It's stunning. I almost cried watching the elephants. Anytime I go anywhere with elephants, I can watch them for hours. They are one of the most mesmerizing creatures on this planet. They're beautiful. Like I wish I would have been around for the elephant days.
Yeah,
I truly do. I missed out, especially Jodan, they worked all Africans.
Which was crazy. You don't see Africans like that being worked ever.
You don't see that. So anyway, the headline of this thing from Cheyenne Mountain, it says elephants can't pursue their release from a Colorado zoo because they're not human, says the court. I'm going to try and remember this the best I can, but this was from a week ago. This article is from January 21st, so it's a little old. But anyway, people want elephants from zoos released into the wild, which, first of all, is a no-no. Animals that have been captive for a very long time, they're not going to do well in, back in captivity. Now this
and releasing them in America, where are you going to put them back in?
Right. Well, you want to ship them back across seas and put them in the depths of hell that we call the
with lions and tigers and poachers and shit that's going to kill them,
like crazy shit.
Yeah.
Now this specific group of elephants, it was argued on that the elephants had born in the wild in Africa. Now, bringing over the babies and still raised in captivity, you still shouldn't return them. It's going to go all bad. If you were taken and then raised and then put back out, it's going to be just as bad as putting something out that was born in captivity. Truly, they don't know what the fuck they're doing. They have instincts, but things just aren't going to work out the way they should. Which, I also don't really... Elephants are a touchy subject because, I don't completely go, I don't really completely believe about going out and capturing animals from the wild and bringing them over here for zoos and stuff like that. So, we can breed things, but animals are a little bit more of a touchy subject because, like Fluffy's saying, we have people that want elephant products. They want, their tusks and all types of shit. People sell things that are made out of their hair. A lot of poachers, so... elephants are in danger, so sometimes bringing them into a captive situation can be better. But the thing about this is I really don't agree with arguing with nature, but poachers aren't from nature. That is a man-made fuck up, that we have those guys. Luckily, there are armies over there of people that will shoot a fucking poacher.
Slaughtering them cocksuckers.
Which is fucking awesome. Pros to them. But anyway, there's this group of people.
Can we go poacher hunting? Anyways.
Fuck yeah. We got plenty of rifles. That'll give me an excuse to get my 308 out.
Oh, yeah.
So this specific group of people is arguing that these elephants at Cheyenne Mountain Zoo now have brain damage. From being in this zoo for such a long period of time. I don't know how old these elephants are, but elephants can live 40, 50, 60, 70. They live a very long time. I don't know how old this one is, but the first thing is if these elephants are pretty old, releasing them into the captivity would be twice as stupid.
Yeah.
2, if they have brain damage, releasing them into captivity would be stupid.
Would be even worse.
And 3, I kind of doubt they have brain damage. They're living the good life. There's no predators after them. There's no poachers. They're eating out of hay bags. They're having fun. They're taking baths.
Getting their veggies.
It's all good.
Yeah.
That is a beautiful fucking zoo. Do they have bad shit that happens? Probably. All zoos.
Sure. But
who knows?
That's what happens with animals. It just happens.
So that's like it's idiotic, and I don't remember some of the terms for the story, so it's kind of dumb that I'm talking about it, rather unprofessional. But there's a medical term for it that they use for human rights in court. That can say this human can be eligible for this or not for this, blah 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 blah. So if you're a human, you have this medical issue, you could be eligible or not eligible. And basically, what they're saying is they're trying to get elephants a law that humans have for medical issues because they think they have brain damage. So they're arguing that the courts won't let elephants free because they're not humans because they don't have the same laws. In a nutshell, that's the best way I can put it without knowing the correct terminology. Excuse me. I didn't expect to talk about this one this week, or I would have brushed up on it a little more. But it's all nuts in a nutshell. It's fucking ridiculous,
bro. If a human has brain damage, they live in a home usually,
right? Or with their family,
or if they're a special person, like they have somebody take care of them.
They have needs.
Yes,
they have needs.
Yeah, because you can't take care of yourself. Like with an elephant with brain damage, the worst thing to do would be let them out in the wild. Right.
You would think that you would want people to take care of them.
Yeah.
The best care is in captivity. They're getting, I don't know the extent of Cheyenne Mountain Zoo, but it's a
beautiful zoo.
It is a beautiful zoo. But animals in captivity, they have medical treatment. They have care staff that, sees if anything changes every day. They get the correct diet. They get all the food they want. They get all the water they want. Animals, they get foot care. They get fucking mani-pedis, for Christ's sake. Like, it's captivity can be a great place for animals. And again, this is another, kind of an observation of people that don't want to learn things.
Yeah.
Is why would we put animals back into the wild that you think are brain damaged? Like, that's, unless they're just trying to make an argument to get them out there.
That's all it is. They're trying to figure something out to do that.
Which kind of leads me to this next topic. There's a train that hit 6 elephants in Sri Lanka and killed them.
It was like 4 babies and 2 adults, right?
Something like that.
Yeah.
Now, my initial argument was, great, let's put the elephants back out in the wild and so they can get hit by fucking trains.
That's dark.
Sri Lanka is not in Africa. Those are African elephants, so this is kind of a contradicting statement here. But bad things happen in the fucking wild.
Yeah.
And this is also our fault. This was the elephants' land first, man-made train, and now we're hitting fucking elephants. And as fucked up as it is, things like this aren't going to stop. It's not the first time this has happened. It's not going to be the last. And it's sad and it's fucked up. But this is one of many reasons that captivity can be a good place for animals. Especially big, beautiful creatures like elephants that we can work with and we can take proper care of.
And keep around for future generations because, well, they're not doing great in the wild, so...
They're not doing great, and there's only about 400 of them in the United States. So elephant breeding programs are important, for sure. Sometimes they can be a little tricky to do, but we do have, elephants born in U.S. soil. Was it Luella? Luella here that was at Jodan here. She was the first African elephant ever born in the United States.
Really?
So it happens. It definitely happens. An elephant's gestation period's about 2 years, so you have to make sure things go well throughout the process. But anyway, no, whatever, if it's regardless of the species of elephants, let's not put them back in the fucking wild so they can get poached or hit by trains.
Yeah, that's most animals.
Especially if they have brain damage.
Because we can just look at dogs, too. Like, when people put dogs back in the wild, they become wild dogs, and then they become assholes.
Which is wild to think about, by the way.
Well, these assholes, they get a dog, and they're like, oh, yeah, cool, puppy. And then the puppy gets big. And they're like, oh, we'll just drop them off on the side of the road and they'll take care of themselves.
Yep. Or it goes to sit at a kill shelter for so long, doesn't get adopted. People don't like things that aren't purebreds.
Yep.
And then that's a whole nother goddamn
yeah, we don't have time
worms,
for
man.
that
today. Mutts are healthier than purebreds at this point in time, and that's super fucked up.
I want to say no because my dog is
you
a mutt.
You have one bad instance.
And he's broken.
Your dog is a goddamn dud. But mutts are statistically healthier than purebred dogs.
He's very smart, though. Just a shame he's broken.
I might argue that statement.
He's genius.
Leo's a good boy. He's cute.
He is. Anyways.
But he's kind of a dud.
He is.
That, did you know that PETA, their dog shelters and whatnot have one of the lowest successful turnarounds for adoptions for dogs? These guys, they send out nothing. Their kill rate is so much higher than their adoption rate.
Oh, I can believe that in a heartbeat.
Mm-hmm.
Because they probably don't keep them around long enough.
They probably don't want them to stay along.
No.
They're trying to downsize on the population.
Yeah.
Which, there's a lot of dogs around here, but
there is.
Fuck PETA.
Yeah, we can agree with that 1,000%.
Absolutely. So, in a nutshell, this week, guys, we go over a little bit of the opinions on the Shalom Wildlife issue. Elephants in the wild, elephants in captivity. Fuck PETA, the government, the USDA. We got some problems here. You heard a lot of ice shaking in Fluffy's cup.
Sorry about that again.
Yeah, you suck.
I didn't cough a lot, though. I kept it back.
You did quit coughing.
I do good.
Proud of you.
I do good.
So once again, guys, I think we're gonna let you guys go. Unfortunately, we will catch you guys next Hump Day. I appreciate you guys chiming in for what day is it here. If anybody has any questions, comments, concern, hate mail, whatever the fuck you want to send in,
bring the hate.
Bring all the goddamn hate. Shoot me an email, get a hold of me on TikTok or Instagram or whatever the fuck you send hate mail through. And just let us know if there's anything you want us to talk about or give opinions on. Just shoot that DM. Don't be afraid to do it. We are open and honest, and we will talk about fucking anything. If you want to talk about people fucking avocados, we'll talk about it. It's not really animal related, so don't ask. But that is the goal here, to bring opinions and ideas from people that are in the animal industry to your ears. I appreciate you guys. Signing out, Camel Man or Seacrest out, whatever.
Happy Hump Day, everybody.